Hello and welcome to our Living Well with Fibromyalgia presentation on what is fibromyalgia. We use the picture of the jigsaw because living well with fibromyalgia is all about small things that when put together make a bigger picture. Each video provides some pieces of the puzzle, so we do encourage you to watch them all. When you were diagnosed with fibromyalgia, were you given much information about it? Many people weren't and have been left trying to find out what they can for themselves. It may be that you've had fibro for many years and you feel you've got a pretty good understanding of it. Or perhaps you've only recently been diagnosed and it's all a bit overwhelming. There is a lot we don't yet know about fibro, but this presentation will hopefully give an understanding of what we know so far. How do you describe fibromyalgia to people? It's not really easy to describe, is it? Fibromyalgia is a long-term condition that causes widespread body pain and profound fatigue, as well as a range of other possible symptoms, and the condition tends to vary from person to person. Symptoms may also fluctuate from day to day, depending on factors such as stress levels, the weather, or how physically active you've been. So the name fibromyalgia is made up from three parts: fibro, meaning fibrous tissues such as tendons and ligaments; my, meaning muscles; and algia, meaning pain. So it means pain in the muscles and soft tissues of the body, but you will know that it involves much more than that. Fibromyalgia is not a degenerating condition. It doesn't get gradually worse and worse. People with fibro can deteriorate, and you may have noticed that happening to you, but this is actually more about how we manage the condition than the condition itself. So these are the most common symptoms that people with fibro experience. You may not have them all, but it is likely you will have some. And if you don't have all these symptoms, please don't think that you will have. Everyone is different. Pain is obviously a big factor, and this could be felt as an aching or burning sensation, or perhaps a sharp stabbing pain. And pain is usually throughout the whole body, but can be worse in certain areas, often those parts most frequently used. The pain is likely to be continuous, as I said, but it may feel better or more severe at different times. Stiffness can be a problem for people with fibro, and it's likely to be most severe when you've been in the same position for a long period. So, for example, when you first wake up in the morning. People with fibro also have heightened pain sensitivity, so it seems to make people extremely sensitive to pain all over the body. So you may find that even the slightest touch is painful, and if you hurt yourself, the pain may continue for longer than it normally would and feel a lot worse than you would expect. Fatigue is obviously a big part of fibro, and this can vary from feeling mildly tired to complete exhaustion, often with flu-like symptoms. It may come and go, and sometimes severe fatigue may come on suddenly, and people can suddenly feel drained of all their energy, as if someone's just pulled out their plug. Sleep problems are a big issue for people with fibro. People often wake up feeling tired even when they've had plenty of sleep. And sometimes sleep can be disturbed by pain or maybe our brains being overactive. And some people experience periods of just wanting to sleep all the time. So cognitive problems are issues related to mental processes such as thinking and learning. And people with fibromyalgia can experience difficulty remembering and learning new things. They have problems with attention and concentration and sometimes slow speech. This is sometimes called brain fog or fibro fog, and we have a presentation specifically about this. These are other problems that people with fibro often experience, but not everybody will have all of these. Again, if you don't experience these, please don't think that this is a prediction of your future. It isn't. Everybody is different. So headaches or migraines are very common. Irritable bowel, well, this causes pain and bloating in the stomach and can lead to constipation or diarrhea, and it's sometimes separately diagnosed as irritable bowel syndrome. Dizziness and clumsiness, strange sensations like tingling, numbness, prickling or burning sensations in the hands and feet, and sometimes hands and feet can also swell. Feeling too hot or too cold, this seems to be because you're not able to regulate your body temperature. Increased sensitivity. This could include increased sensitivity to hot or cold temperatures, noise, lights, certain foods, or any other sensory or environmental factors. Restless leg syndrome is the overwhelming urge to move your legs. And low mood. This can vary from having episodes of feeling sad and fed up to becoming clinically depressed and feeling hopeless and helpless. And feeling more anxious and stressed can also be a problem with fibromyalgia. Why me? Well, you may have asked this question, and the truth is we don't have all the answers. We don't know for certain how many people are affected with fibro, as it's difficult to diagnose, as you may well have found. However, it is thought as many as 1 person in 20 may suffer from it. It does affect more women than men, around 7 times as many more women than men, and typically develops between the ages of 20 and 50, but again it can occur in people of any age, including children and older people. It's not clear why some people develop fibromyalgia, but it's likely that there are a number of factors, and scientists believe that the following factors may contribute to the development of fibro. So, physical or mental trauma or stress, as often people report their symptoms started after an illness or an accident or following a period of emotional stress. But some people can't recall any particular event leading up to the start of their symptoms, so this probably doesn't apply to everybody. There does appear to be changes in the way the body processes pain and abnormally low levels of certain hormones in the brain like serotonin, noradrenaline and dopamine, and these are felt to perhaps play a role. Disturbed sleep is a problem for people with fibro, but may also be a cause. In an experiment where healthy volunteers were woken during each period of deep sleep, a number of them developed the typical signs and symptoms of fibro. And then genetics may play a small part in the development of fibromyalgia, with perhaps some people being more likely than others because of their genes. Sometimes people mention they have family members who have the condition. So you may be wondering if you will ever get better. Well, at present there is no cure for the condition. Scientists are working hard on understanding the condition better so they can find a cure. The evidence we have from long-term studies does suggest, though, that fibromyalgia isn't progressive or degenerative, so doesn't in itself cause any lasting damage to the body's tissues. Medication can help some people, but doesn't help everyone. What research has shown is that when people understand their condition and work with it, they can experience an improvement in what they can do, in their quality of life and general well-being. And in these sessions, we will be looking at various strategies to enable you to live well with fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia affects every part of our lives. I'm sure you will find this to be true. And in the pain clinic, we use what we call the biopsychosocial model to help describe this. So the bio bit, the biological bit, is like the physical pain and fatigue, the sleep difficulties, limited mobility and movement. The psychological, is the way we think and feel. This is about our mood, the worries we have, what we believe about ourselves and our pain. And most people we see find that their pain and fatigue gets them down. They may get frustrated and sometimes angry. This is a normal reaction to living with a long-term condition like fibromyalgia. The social part is about the things that we do, the places that we go. Perhaps having fibro has affected your ability to work or to care for your family or to take part in hobbies. Because fibromyalgia affects all these things, we need to consider them when we think about how we manage the condition, and we will be talking more about this throughout these videos. So now take some time to think about yourself and how fibromyalgia affects you. Perhaps pause this video and take a moment to write some things down. Think about the biological things. What does your body feel like? What physically do you struggle with? Then think about how you feel in yourself. Do you feel low in mood or anxious? What are the thoughts that go round in your head? Perhaps you think, I'm useless, I can't cope with this, why me? Finally, consider how fibromyalgia has affected your life, the things you can't do or are more difficult, your relationships, work, hobbies. I know this might feel very negative, but we're doing this because we believe there is hope. Understanding what we are struggling with can help us move forward. The purpose of this programme is to help you manage your pain and fatigue and to feel more in control of your life. We can't take your pain away, but there are things that we can do to help ourselves to live well with fibromyalgia. The rest of the videos in this series are designed to help you to understand and manage fibromyalgia. Please watch the next video on what is pain. Read the workbook as a reminder of all you have heard in this video. And these are some useful websites that you may find helpful too.